Is this actually live? Can anybody hear me right now? Bear with me for a second. I'm just trying to get everything set up. Okay, I'm a few minutes early for the live stream today for December. Yeah, everything's a little bit crazy right now. I'm trying to set up a few new systems so that I can actually see the chat on another monitor. LP, hello. 334 Outdoors. He caught the beginning of the stream for once. Yeah, it's really bright. Give me a second here. Sorry about the really wide angle on this this shot. The camera I set up a little bit further back this time, and I don't like it like that. Craziness. I don't know if changing any of these lights are going to make a difference. That might be too much. No, that's all right. I don't mind that. You see some Munch bag. Yeah, there's a couple here. I'll get into that shortly. You guys can hear me all right, is that correct? There's a bit of a delay, so I just got to wait and see it as it comes up in the chat. Perfect. All right. December, live stream. Sorry for the kind of jumbled setup this morning, but I was hoping to have this all ready about a half an hour ago, and this morning's been a rush, running errands, getting a bunch of things done, you know, as we all get stuck doing. I didn't get the other light set up in time, so yeah, we're gonna just go with it. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's been out fishing. I really haven't. Got a few topics to go over. Oh, of course, the phone's gonna zoom in and out on me again. Clint, yeah, I'm a little bit early today. Yeah, I wish I could have had things scheduled up the way I was trying to. Dave Newman, good morning. Yeah, I was trying to have everything ready so that it would just automatically click on at noon, and it went live automatically. So it was a little bit kind of messed up this morning, but we're running with it. We're going to make it work. Like I said, I'm going to be kind of leaning in and out. The focus might be a little bit in and out. I'm just trying to try something new so that I can read the chat, because my phone is doing the camera bit today. I definitely wanted the camera closer. I didn't test it out early enough, but oh well. I got some topics to go over, but before I jump into those, I'm hoping everybody's well. Like I said, 334 Outdoors. You haven't wet a line since August. LP, it looks like you said you haven't been out. I was out. So the last time, I guess the October live stream, we did live from the bank. Dave and I filming a center pin video. We went live while we were kind of in the middle of that. And luckily we caught during the live stream. That was amazing. If I recall, I was looking at the schedule this morning. That video that we were filming that day, in the heavy winds, trying to do the filming of center pin carp fishing, that video will be going live on Boxing Day, so December 26th. Improved carp angling. Nathan, how's it going? Haven't been out for about a month. Yeah, it's not far off for me. 334 Outdoors, other than when you were in New Orleans. Well, at least you're getting out. So yeah, that was the October live stream, center pin fishing for carp with Dave. That went amazing. That video will be going live Boxing Day. Then 2 weeks after that, I think, is the January live stream, and then we'll follow it up with the second center pin carp video we did a week later or a few days later. That was absolute mayhem. So 2 really good videos coming down the line, you guys, over the next few weeks. The last time we saw each other would have been the November live stream we did, again, Dave and I, from the bank. That was a tough day. We were trying to film a video doing some carp fishing. Lee, good morning. Nice to see you. Dave Newman's out again tomorrow. Of course you are. You pretty much live on the bank. Dom Fishing UK, hello. You're in early. Apparently I was early today too. Story of my life. But yeah, November live stream we did on the bank. Dave and I did a little bit of carp fishing. It was a really tough session. The fish were there. We don't know why we were having so much trouble. I had 3 or 4 pickups. They were all dropped. We did film that session, but because everything kind of happened as we were doing live stream, I haven't even gone back to look at the footage of that video. So I don't even know if that one's going to make it to the light of day. We might just leave it as the live stream from that day. But that was technically, if you want to get really technical, my last actual session out was the November live stream. So it's been a month for me. Definitely the last carp session I had. Now, let's see here. Dom's going to catch a half an hour and then off to the work grind. Well, at least you're catching a half an hour. It's good to see you. We all got to work. It sucks. That's kind of what made my my schedule so tough the last few weeks. Been working a lot. But I did get out, I think, the last day of November. I think it was like the 29th or the 30th. I had about a 3.5, 4 hour window. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get the lure rods out. I'm going to get some spinners. I'm going to get some swim baits. And I'm going to go walk a few areas, some stretches on the big river, and then a small stretch of a smaller river. I'm going to look for some pike, because this is when they're starting to move around in our area. You know, we got massive schools of bait fishing near the shoreline right now. I thought for sure I was going to get into some pike. Had the action camera on, was filming, everything was going nice. Really weird conditions in one spot versus the other. Was really hoping that I would put something together, and not only did I not get any pike, I didn't see any pike or predators of any sort. I was, you know, it was like the last day of bass season, I think, for up here. So I was kind of hoping for maybe a kind of like an end of the season bass if I was lucky. And no, what did I see? In both locations I went to, of the, I don't know, like 10 different swims I kind of stopped at to cast around, everywhere I went, I saw carp. Freezing cold day. Everywhere I went, I saw carp, and I was fishing for pike. Didn't have any carp gear with me at all. Not even something like a jig that I could use and feel comfortable as a, you know, fish safety. I had an unhooking mat. I had a net, yeah. But, you know, I've caught carp on jigs before, but everything I had was big. It was for predators. So I couldn't even try for the ones that I was seeing. So other than that few hours, which was just pretty much me walking around, casting here and there, absolutely no fish. There was a positive that came out of that, however. I managed to find some new spots that I didn't know about before in my exploring. So for next year's carp season, there's going to be a few swims that, one, the scenery is absolutely beautiful. You're surrounded by nature, the bird life, wildlife. You know, I walked right through a trail that seemed to be a deer trail, and deer popped up on me while I was walking through because it was early. So they weren't even up and about yet. So I'm pretty excited to actually do some videos there. I was so excited when I found the one spot in particular that I actually did a video chat with Dave right away, and I was like, "You need to see this. Look at this. Look at the swim here. Look at how we can position rods here. We can put up bivvies here, and look at where we can cast. We can hit the edge of the current." I was wired. I was so excited about that spot. I was really expecting a pike. Definitely looked like everything was primed there, and something was chasing bait fish in that spot. Never did get anything though. So a bit of a bummer. Let's see here. 334 Outdoors. I'm finishing school forever on Tuesday and might get on the water again. Well, make it happen. Dom. Don't tell Will. No, I won't be telling Will, and even if I did, he's not going to drive all the way down here to fish with me. I kind of made him mad yesterday. A couple of smart-ass comments to him yesterday, and I think I made him angry, so oh well. I'll fish with him again next year, I'm sure. We'll make it happen. We got a few ideas that we've already talked about. But yeah, I'm really excited about these new spots, and you know, even though that technically was me fishing, it technically wasn't. I was more or less just hiking around looking for... It was basically a walk, and I happened to take a few casts here and there. But some good stuff came out of that, so I'm quite pleased. So yeah, I am going to try and do some more pike fishing, some predator fishing. The spots that I go to that have them, just the fish haven't been moving around. The only, you know, big predators that I know of that have been coming out to the people in the boats. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to get a line out as far as they're drifting. But I'm pretty sure I can find them at some point through the winter, so I'm still going to work on it. So my notes here, I had a few things jotted down. Yeah, one thing I just wanted to mention, on November 30th, so overseas, I you know, you guys might not know too much about some of the kind of what we call our celebrity anglers over here. You know, you guys have all yours over there. We have the same, but they're for different species, right? A lot of multi-species anglers, very few of who will actually chase carp, but you know, these are our fishing shows and our magazines and stuff like that. These are the kind of the celebrity anglers that we grow up with over here, learning from, you know, the innovators, the developers, the guys that are consistently catching. And yeah, one of the legends over here, absolute legend in multi-species angling, real pioneer in the sport and in you know, the way fishing shows are done. Yeah, Ron Lindner passed away on November 30th at the age of 86. You know, I've mentioned it in videos before, the Lindner brothers, in particularly Al, because he was the kind of the big showman in front of the camera, and Ron spent more of his time kind of behind the camera. But the Lindner brothers really were the biggest influences on my fishing growing up, through In Fisherman Television, the magazine, you know, the numbers of articles that they've written over the years, and you know, everything they did for developing tackle, even though they were sometimes for species that I didn't actually follow. You know, these guys were right at the forefront of the science behind fishing, and why fish do what they do, why they behave the way they do, why they react to the baits they create. So yeah, hearing that was a big bit of sad news for me, just because, like I said, I spent my whole life following the work that these guys did, and yeah, really kind of pass along our condolences to the Lindner family and all their friends and stuff. You know, the big media empire that they really did create around teaching people about fishing. Yeah, one of my heroes gone, but you know, that's kind of the way things go as you get older. So yeah, luckily, you know, the Lindner family is still doing what they do, and you know, there's a lot of them. And they really are out there to promote fishing and get people involved in fishing, and I'm really happy that you know, we still have some of them there. But yeah, one of the big icons there has passed, and you know, like I said, it happens. It's part of life. LP, I am a celebrity angler who chases carp. In your circles, you're a celebrity. To the rest of us, you're just a really loud guy that catches carp. And by loud, I mean you type loud. Everybody sees what you're writing. Dom Fishing UK, Thunder Mist Lures. We're not going to go there. No, Evo's still around. I saw him back in the spring. He was fishing a spot that I was fishing as well. He's still kicking. 334 outdoors. Temperatures have been around 31 to 32, so right at freezing, I guess that is for you, since you're in Fahrenheit. For about 2 or 3 weeks, coming back up to the mid 40s for Iowa, and I feel like I really need to be on the water. Yeah, we'll get on the water, absolutely. Today it's like 11 degrees out here. 2 weeks ago we had snow. Today it's 11 degrees and a little bit rainy right now. I don't know when we're going to get ice. I really want to get on the ice, but not happening yet. Kevin, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Three, 4 outdoors. You lost a local outdoor TV personality named Red Holland. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. Lost him to COVID. That's a shame. Yeah, it's always tough when you kind of have those people you follow, especially follow for so long, like the Lindners I followed my whole life, and yeah, it's tough to kind of lose your heroes, but it happens. It's part of life. Hasn't snowed there in 4 years. My God, that's insane. Well, I'm sure you'll get it at some point. Moving on. I know some of you in the chat are getting excited for some ice fishing. Dave Newman in particular. I think you guys are setting up your ice hut tomorrow or later today. Get on the corn grind. They always pick up for some kernels. Yeah, I have a bait idea. I'm going to be doing some winter carp fishing this year. Don't worry, that is going to be happening. But I want to slip in some other species. I want to get into some pike. Definitely going to be chasing a little bit of trout. Actually, I'm going to be doing that on Monday. As long as the river doesn't blow out on us, we're supposed to get a lot of nasty wind. Right now, the river looks amazing. Water clarity looks good. But I'm a little bit worried about the winds coming up that might kind of blow it out on us, and we might have high, murky water. It might make it tough, but we're going to try it. Florida, baby. Ooh, that's frightening. Ice fishing for carp? No, I'm not going to do any ice fishing for carp around here, Dom. That you got to go up to Quebec for. There's a lot of guys that do it there. There is some spots where they can do it relatively safely. I don't know if he's got any videos of it on his channel, but Andrew Walker is somebody that does it. Probably not something I'm going to attempt. When I'm on the ice, I actually prefer to chase a lot of smaller species, perch, bluegill, sunfish, crappies. Get the occasional pike and the occasional trout through the ice as well. But yeah, carp, I like using. I like open water, and I've got a spot that pretty much stays open all winter. That spot we really kicked off well in March, kind of the end of February, beginning of March this year. We're hoping that it does the same again, and maybe we can get a January session in. Kevin, you're going to try ice fishing for carp this winter. I guess you're in Michigan, right? So you might actually have a spot that you can do that safely. Around here, we really don't. Too much moving water. Wherever there is ice, it's just not spots that we can get carp moving around. And some of them are actually like private property. We can't get out onto the ice. It's just not reliable, not safe. Where we can get on the ice and get safe chance at fish, it's more the pike and perch spots. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the ice fishing season. I just hope it comes soon. So in the meantime, I'm going to be chasing some trout. I'm going to be kind of packing up all my gear to really get it all organized. My big rods and my big tackle packs of stuff for carp, they're going to kind of get put aside for the season. And I'm going to just leave out like a 9-foot rod and a rucksack full of carp gear so that I can just kind of pop out for 3-hour sessions and pop back, whenever I get them. Because my winter spot's just down the road, about 15 minutes down the road on the big river. So, I'm going to stay prepared to be able to get out for that, kind of on a whim, but I'm not going to be doing any big sessions until the fish really start moving again. So yeah, I'm going to be bouncing around a lot, trying a lot of different things through the winter, and hopefully it pays off. Hopefully we can get them on camera and share them with everybody. Clint, do you have a sun planned for the lower? Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. I can't get out Sunday, Clint. It's Monday. Monday, we will be on the lower. So if you want to skip work and join us, you're welcome to. Kind of more fun when you're there anyways. Your aroma keeps some of the other shady people away. Now, no can do. Oh, all right. Well, we'll just have to kind of keep you updated with how it's going. But Dave and I are going to hit the lower river on Monday. We're trying to avoid some of the crowds, and like I said, the schedules just won't let us get out on Sunday. So, talking about that, Monday being down there for trout, that's technically going to be this year's birthday session. Work, work, work. Damn Christmas. Yeah, I hear you. So every year I try to get out and do a birthday session. Last year I got out on my birthday, and unfortunately I didn't have the cameras with me. I really, really do wish I did, and I wish I would have filmed it. We had this amazing snowstorm, and Dave joined me. The water levels came up. It went really murky, but the snow and the wind and everything was just, it looked amazing. And we fished really hard in spots that we really should have been able to produce a fish, and it just wasn't happening. Then all of a sudden, that kind of, as we were fishing our way down the bank close to the path to get up out of the gorge, we kind of stopped in this one spot that's kind of like our go-to spot, or my go-to spot for sure anyway. And just as we kind of reached that spot, we had about 20 minutes left before we had to leave. The clouds cleared, the storm went away, it got sunny and beautiful, and boom, I smacked the fish. I wish I could throw the picture up for you, but I don't have all that stuff set up yet. But yeah, I got an amazing trout last year on the birthday session, just as we did previously, the last 2 years in a row before last year. So I guess now 3 years in a row we've done a birthday session for trout. Prior to that, it was birthday sessions for carp. And those are always exciting. I get out with my friends, get out, do some fishing, and enjoy it. With my birthday having just passed yesterday, I had to do online training for work. I couldn't get out of it because of the schedule. So the birthday session's been moved to Monday, and hopefully that will prove fruitful, and we'll get some footage of that. I'm no doubt in my mind it's going to be fun. Weekends are the worst fishing days. Every man and his dog out now. Wednesdays, they are the real fishing days. You know what? Tuesdays and Wednesdays used to be the days that I got out the most, way back. And yeah, river's absolutely dead. Nobody's around. Everybody's at work or school or whatever they got to do. I don't like fishing the lower river on weekends. It just makes it too difficult. You only have Christmas Day off, but lots of double time and overtime. Well, you know, that'll help pay the bills and stuff like that. But you know, it's a shame you can't get out a little bit more. Kevin, mine is Monday. Took work off to fish for steelhead. Yep, I did the same thing. I have Monday off. Dave and I are going to go fish some steelhead. Lake trout season is open now, so you know, we might get absolutely, you know, super lucky and get a grand slam, get a rainbow, a brown, and a laker. Super hard to get. I think I know I've done it once. I think I did it a second time, but I can only recall one time for sure that I did it. We won't be fishing that spot, but it's not far away. And you know, that's kind of the big lower river thing, is to get one of each. And the spot that we plan on fishing, it's possible. So we're really excited. Looking forward to get down there for some trout, do some float fishing with the center pin. Am I right in thinking a steelhead is a rainbow? Yes. So basically, sea-run rainbow trout. You know, they're actually not native to here. They're native to the Pacific Ocean. So these are rainbow trout that would live in the ocean, move into the rivers for spawn. So with them here around the Great Lakes, they're still technically steelhead, because the sea that they spend most of their life in is the Great Lakes, so Lake Ontario in this particular case, and then they run up rivers for spawning season, which kind of goes from late fall right through to spring. So yeah, when we say steelhead, we're referring to the rainbows that kind of migrate in and out from the lake. But there's also going to be brown trout that do the same out to the lake and into the rivers, and then lake trout doing the same. So yeah, we've got a really good chance at some really good quality fish, especially if we get into them. Not sure if you guys can hear the dog is just snoring away, but now for some reason the cat has come down here. The cat never comes down here. So I'm curious to see what kind of mischief she's going to get into. Marshmallow, what are you doing? I don't trust you. What are you into? She's checking out the sleeping dog. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Some float fishing, some bottom bouncing, we can toss some lures, spinners, jigs, tube jigs, things like that. Oh, hi. Well, you're kind of interrupting. You're showing everybody your butt. Shoot. Get. I have no idea what she's doing. Like I said, she just doesn't come down here. It's kind of weird. Oh, you left cat hair all over the place, you weirdo. Catfish, yeah. So yeah, I got a little bit of gear I got to put together, but I've kind of actually already started. You can kind of see here. I've been kind of tinkering with my ice fishing gear already, just trying to get ready for the ice season, which is funny because I'm going to be trout fishing first, but that's just over there. Got the bags of floats and stuff like that ready. Got my kit of beads, all different beads for bouncing that, drifting that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. As I'm kind of organizing everything, I'm getting all the gear together, and I need to get to a point where I'm so organized that everything is streamlined and I can just kind of walk in, grab a bag and a rod, and I'm ready for that species and that style of fishing. I don't have to kind of keep switching things from bag to bag to bag like I always do. So that's going to kind of get me into kind of, it's not really an unboxing because I've already opened it all, but I haven't used most of it. But kind of the birthday gifts and early Christmas gifts are kind of revolving around helping me set up to be more streamlined and organized. Like I mention it all the time. You know, I want to make sure that I'm fit for doing short sessions where I can just kind of grab the gear, move around a lot. Too many times I get stuck in one spot and I don't move because I take too much stuff with me. Can we get a chicken song tonight? Pretty sure you promised last time. I don't recall actually promising. And it's not nighttime. It's actually midday for us here. I haven't practiced. There you go. Jingle bells. Got your Christmas song. That might have to be the new pod mascot. What do you think? I'll get this strapped onto my my Signet pod between my National arms, and I'll have some kind of pressure sensor on there. So every time I get a run, it squeezes and releases the chicken. Maybe that could get people's attention. Can you get a rendition of Sandstorm? I would need to practice that one, man. Come on. No, I'm actually thinking about it. No, we're not doing that right now. Sorry, not happening. Maybe next time. I'll think about it. I suppose if I practice that enough, I can do it, but that takes us off topic. Okay, so before I get into some of the gear, like I mentioned, I got the usual kind of semi-unboxing stuff to go. I want an alarm that screams my name. Dave, you want anything that'll scream your name. Christmas special. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to do a Christmas live stream. I do have plans for, obviously, Christmas with the family. But one thing about my family is that my wife and son are not morning people. They love to sleep in. And then they like to have naps in the afternoon. So if it looks like I'm going to have a bit of time, I might do a little Christmas live stream. We'll see. What I will do is for the center pin video on Boxing Day, I will set that up as a premiere. That way we can kind of watch it live together. We'll have the chat open. We can all, you know, throw some banter back and forth. I think I'm going to do that with the next couple, as long as my schedule fits right, because the second center pin video that will come out in January, that session was absolutely insane. Everything we threw, we caught on, including some Goldie style baits. Man, I think we had like 25 fish come to the mat, and then we lost a couple on top of that. So there was probably easily like 30, 32 runs that day. It was just bonkers. So some really good videos coming up. The one on Boxing Day I will do as a premiere, so we can have the chat going. We'll see about the next one, depending on my schedule. I don't know if I'll be working that day or not. But what I've been doing is, as far as kind of some new stuff goes, some of it's been kind of birthday gifts. Some of it is an early Christmas gift, one in particular. And then a couple of things I kind of bought without letting my wife know. They just kind of showed up, and I'm like, oh, hey, look at that. Yeah. I won't say which, though, just so that I don't get in too much trouble. Puma Destroyer. Yo. Well, yo back. Good to see you. So one of the things that I wanted to get into, like I said, I've been getting my ice fishing gear ready. I've been watching a company on Facebook a lot the last while, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years. And I've been wanting to try their tackle. Last year I got out for one ice fishing day on Lake Simcoe. It was awful. Order everything to your work address. It's better safe than sorry. No, I'm not ordering anything to work, because then I'm going to get it at work and I'm not going to get any work done because I'm going to be too excited that it's there. And my boss won't like that. Also, I don't want anybody calling my wife and being like, hey, he's getting stuff delivered to work, to work. If she knows it's coming in, you know, it's already here. She can't do anything about it. That's kind of my line of thinking. My NGT alarm screams something close enough to my name to make me happy. Whatever works for you. Mine just scream, because I catch so many fish. But yeah, this bit of tackle, I'm getting my ice fishing gear ready, and I wanted to try some of their lures and some of their some of the stuff they had on their website. So I finally went to their website and put a little order in. The company's called Kender's Outdoors. So not sure if any of the American guys in here are familiar with them. But they have some baits called the T-Rip, the K-Rip, and then they had some little soft plastics. So Dom, these might be good for you for your perch fishing, which is exactly what I intend to use them for. Maybe one of these days, like I think I mentioned before, I'll have to send you out some kind of tackle that's over here. You can try in your canals and stuff for perch. Maybe we'll work that out in the spring. But I really wanted to try these, and what I wasn't expecting is that I went with a 64th ounce because I knew I was going to be fishing smaller fish. But I didn't really realize how small the bait would be. It's tungsten. It's really heavy, so it doesn't need to be big. So I'm probably going to have to order a few more to get a slightly larger size. So these were just some little soft plastic jigs, but they really look amazing. You probably can't see those at all. These ones glow. I don't know if there's a specific name for this type of jig or not. The small candy shad in white glow. I'm actually really stoked about this. Do they go? Oh wow, they do actually glow. Cool. Because I know that not just perch are going to take these, but I'm going to be able to get bluegills, pumpkin seeds, a lot of small fish. I might even be able to get some smelt with these. So I'm quite stoked about that. But the T-Rips and the K-Rips, they're really neat. One's kind of like a wider body bait, and the other one is more narrow. But I guess they kind of work on the principle like a lipless crankbait, as you kind of lift and let them fall. So here's one of the K-rips. Can you actually see that at all, or is it too bright? Oh, that picked up the reflection of the light, didn't it? I know it was there for a second, but maybe that helps a bit. You can kind of see that one. That one's the bluegill pattern. Really neat little bait. But believe it or not, with the packaging, you can actually feel just how heavy these things are. I'm surprised that it's actually 1/64 of an ounce. It feels actually quite a bit heavier. So these should be able to, you know, plow right through any slush in the hole and actually get right down deep fast, which a lot of times is key if you're fishing over a school of bluegill or crappies or something like that. You want to be able to get up and down really, really quick to get in and out of the school of fish before they move off. And then the T-rip is a little bit more of a narrow bait. I'll try and show you this one. This one's the Wonder Bread pattern. If anybody that knows Wonder Bread, you should be able to understand that. Is that gonna, can you see that at all? Not really, eh? You can see it's a little bit more narrow. I'm actually really stoked about these. Really excited to try these. They're all in patterns that I know are going to work because I have other lures in the same kind of color patterns. But just to see what kind of vibration they give off, you know, I'm always looking for new kind of search lures because I like to move around on the ice, trying to find groups of perch, groups of panfish. Normally I'll use like little spoons with droppers, but you know, these, what is it? There's one in here. You know, I've been using these for years, and these are very, very similar. You see that? You know, kind of like the lipless crankbait kind of style, but these are bigger. So sometimes the perch will shy away from these bigger baits. They don't always jump at them the way I would hope. So getting some smaller ones might help. But yeah, Kender's Outdoors. You can check out their website and you'll be able to see some of this stuff for yourself. Try it out. I'm actually really excited to be using that this season. Kevin, I only catch fish when I forget to turn my alarms back on. Yeah, I know a few people that have that happen a lot. Dave Newman, I find a small spoon tipped with a minnow head. Small movements. Yeah, I agree. That's, like I said, one of my kind of go-to search baits on the ice is those small spoons and small jigs. But I like some of these like faster moving baits, a little bit heavier, that kind of will dance around a bit. Sometimes I don't like to have a straight up and down presentation. I like it when it's more erratic and more moving around. I just find that I get a lot more aggressive strikes doing that. I've seen your technique and it works. I know it. That's why we mimicked it to learn how to catch those pike in that one spot that we'd been fishing the last few seasons. So, you know, because of you, we adapted our technique and started catching on a consistent basis. So now maybe it's time to try some of my stuff. Maybe you'll catch a few more. We'll see. It's been a while since I looked through the channel. Just been watching the vids come out. Do you have any rig tutorials? We have a couple of rig tutorials, but not many. I think I did one video way back about the multi-rig. Generally speaking, when we talk about rigs, I kind of slip them into the videos because, you know, it's us using them on the day. You're actually going to see us catch fish with them, or how they're presented. So I try to get it in the videos that we're actually doing while we're fishing, just because why do a rig video if I can't sit there and prove that I made it work? You know, obviously I have so many videos where the multi-rig worked for us, like the entire series we did, 12 months of carp. That was a multi-rig stipulation I had on there, and I tried it in different variations. So yeah, if you go back through the videos, actually watching the videos of us fishing are where you're going to see some of those rig tutorials come in. But I haven't done so many lately. It's something that we've been talking about. We're going to do a little bit more of moving forward into the 2021 season. Dawn fishing, off to work. If still on at 1 a.m. I'll watch it again. Take care, bud. Take care to you too, Dom. Have a safe time at work. Probably won't be on at 1 a.m. Well, maybe for you, but we'll see. Not here. Here it's going to be, that's another 12 hours away from here. But yeah, take care, bud. Dave, it's all about the electronics. Yeah, your electronics are sickening. To be able to watch a fish move in, move up, know which direction it's coming from, and then actually watch it take the bait. I almost wet myself when I saw that happen on, what was it, the Panoptics you were using? That was frightening to see that happen. I almost felt like you were cheating, to be honest with you. But in the end, it was the technique that came down to it. You know, once we just applied your technique, we started catching fish without the electronics. But man, was that ever exciting to see. I think that's my weakness thing. I've picked out one or two that work, but I know I'm not fishing optimally. I could give you a list of tutorial videos that will show you how to tie every single rig possible. That doesn't mean that you're going to be fishing optimally. What you need to do is you need to, as you say, pick out a couple rigs that you want to stick with that kind of cover the bases where you're fishing. So a lot of the places I fish current and rocks. Okay. So I use, for those particular situations, I use blowback rigs. Because I need them to be reset because it's moving around constantly, right? So I need to know that my rig is going to be reset if a little nuisance fish picks it up or a carp picks it up and spits it out. I need to know that it's going to reset in that flow, in that current, in those rocks, and be ready to go again. The spots that I fish silt, almost always now I'm fishing German rigs in silty areas or mud bottoms, clay bottoms, things like that. But what it comes down to is pick those 2 or 3 rigs for the specific areas you're fishing and just use them constantly. Get comfortable with how they're landing. One thing that I kind of like, I never check my rig in the edge. I'm not like that. Kevin's like that. Dave does that from time to time. A lot of the guys I know do that. A lot of the guys online do that. I'm not really a rig checker. I'm kind of confident in the way that I've tied it, that I know how it's going to land, because what I did for a while when I was trying out a new rig is, rather than just kind of set it down gently in the edge to see how it sits, what I would do is I would throw it. I would throw it from back a bit and let it land in the edge deliberately on larger rocks, in silt, over gravel, in weeds, to kind of just see how it would land on its own, mimicking a cast. And, you know, sometimes it lands great, sometimes it doesn't. But no matter what you do, no matter how many times you check it in the edge or you verify that you tied that rig absolutely perfect, you just can't predict how it's going to land where you're casting. You know, over in the UK and Europe, these guys look for clear spots. Most of the places we have, you know, you're not going to find a clear spot. You're just kind of blasted out there and hope for the best. In a lot of cases, we fish wild natural waters with wild natural fish, and you know, if they want it, they're going to grab it. And you know, it's not uncommon for me to cast into a patch of weeds and just be like, you know, it's not ideal. I can feel the weeds there. I know they're there from previous casts, but in the end, the fish is hungry. You know, it's not somebody that's going to be, that fish is not necessarily used to traps, because we're fishing for wild fish. So sometimes they will grab them in ways that, you know, a British angler would never suspect. You know, my lead could be on the bottom, my rig could be hanging up in a weed, you know, 6-8 inches off the bottom, kind of dangling off the side. Doesn't mean our fish is going to get spooked off by that. They very well could be grabbing it. You know, we get zebra mussels all the way up the weeds. They could be feeding on that. So, you know, just find a couple rigs, play with them a little bit, to, you know, throwing them in the water, see how they land as if it was a cast, and just stick with them. The more you get fish in and see where that hook is positioned, the more you're going to be able to make a decision of, okay, I know this rig works for me, I'm catching with it, but the hook always gets stuck in the left corner of the mouth, never the center, never the right. Okay, what do I need to change there? Shorter hook length, longer hook length, slightly heavier lead maybe. You know, you might have to do things like that to make those adjustments. Dave, I think the new ones are cheating. All electronics are technically cheating. We'll get to that in a minute. Cool idea might be a full rig breakdown, then show it catch fish, not just the normal, here's the rig, then grip and grin. Yeah, we want to try and do some more in the new year where maybe we're out filming a whole video and kind of we touch on that, but while we're there, we do a specific rig segment and show it work. Just something that, you know, we're going to look into it. We're going to find a way to get that out there. I was actually looking over some of the analytics on Thursday. And I was actually seeing some of the older videos. You can actually track where people where the peaks and valleys are with where people kind of fast forward through or stop and actually watch segments of the video. And over a series of, 7 or 8 videos that I watched that are older videos, like 3-4 years old, people were actually stopping and watching us do our rig sections and then fast forwarding through the fish part. They were actually going through and specifically looking for those rig bits. So we're going to be kind of adding a little bit more of that back in the new year, maybe in a bit of a different kind of format. You're usually on current and rocks as well. Yeah, give the blowback rig a try, whether it be tube blowback or ring blowback. The ring blowback will reset itself a lot better. The tube, obviously, you have to reset it yourself, but at least then you know if something's picked it up. You're having hellacious tangle problems. Rig tubing, anti-tangle sleeves. You know, balance out the weight so you don't have too many split shots or not enough. Like I said, just tying a setup, having like a 12-foot piece of line. You don't even have to be out on the bank for this. Have a bucket of water in your backyard, 12 or 15-foot piece of line or something like that. Tie it onto your rod, tie a rig, and your lead set up. Just flip it into the bucket. Kind of like how we learned how to use bait cast reels as kids. You know, casting, flipping, and pitching into a coffee cup in the backyard. Do this with your carp rigs into a plastic container of water, just to see how it lands. You know, throw some sticks in there, throw some gravel in there, try it out, see how that works for you. It might help. It might be the angle. Instead of casting overhead, you might be casting slightly from the side. That might be part of it. You can work it out. You just have to start paying attention to some of those finer details, those finer movements. Sometimes that's all it is. I'll have stretches where I tangle like crazy for 2 or 3 sessions in a row. And then the next session, I'm like, okay, well, I've been favoring my right shoulder because my left shoulder's bad. So my casts have been a little bit more on an angle. So instead of going straight out, it's actually going out on an angle and kind of helicoptering out. You know, things to look at like that. I only check rigs with pop-ups just to make sure it's enough weight. Kevin, I agree. Not something I really do because I pretty much use 2 types of pop-up. I use 12 mils and I use 15 mils. So I kind of got accustomed to, you know, what hook and how many split shot I need. So I can just kind of tie it and fling it out there. Dog is snoring louder now. Yeah, she is. She's old. Nothing I can do about it. I just got to let her be. This year, though, I started using some 18 mil pop-ups. So obviously at first, the first thing I'm going to do is see how much weight it takes. But yeah, once I've kind of got that where, okay, I know this will hold it down, I don't keep checking it. I just make sure I always have the supplies in the sizes I need so that I can just tie it and get it out there. I'm on limited time. I don't want to screw around with, really testing everything and making sure I get it perfect. I don't care if it's perfect. It's like when I tie flies. I don't tie them to look exactly like what I'm imitating. Tie them to get a bite. If they get shredded and destroyed, they get shredded and destroyed. Same with carp rigs. I'm tying it just to get that bite, because if I'm only out for 2-3 hours, that one bite's going to be what makes the difference. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough. Want to come take a Florida vacation next year? I'll put you on some reds and trout and then drag you by my carp spot and see what you say. I don't know. I was in Florida in 1991. Went to Disney World with my family. I'll be honest with you, didn't like it. I'm honestly not a fan of warm weather, really. And I'm afraid to death of gators. If I ever make it down there, I'll make sure you know. But I honestly, I don't plan on taking any trips in the next few years. If I did do a trip, though, I'd be going to check out some spots in Europe. There's a lot of spots I want to see over there before I worry about going down and sweat my butt off on the flats catching reds. Although it does sound exciting. So if for any reason, maybe work sends me down there for some project where we have a demo job or something like that. If work sends me to Florida, I'll bring my gear and I'll let you know. We'll see. All bottom baits for you, but you like to throw a 12 millimeter high vis on top to help it get in the mouth. You know what? There are times when I find that bottom baits are the way to go. Don't rule out just rocking a pop-up, though. You don't need to just have them on as a snowman or as a visual attractor. Just try them. Believe it or not, if you keep your pop-up low, rocking that in heavy current like I do on the upper river here, it does the job. And they might not see a bottom bait a lot of times. So, you might find you'll get quicker bites. Maybe not as many, but you might get quicker bites or more aggressive bites. Just trying just the pop-up by itself. That's not Florida, that's sweaty Michigan. Yeah, where the gators are, right? Not the Flats area, in the Panama City area. You guys can go head-to-head with the humidity. Yeah, it gets pretty damn humid here, too. With us being between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, it gets pretty bad here. Gators are everywhere. Yeah, especially in Michigan. Okay, moving on. A few other things that I want to show you. Not to make you jealous or anything, but just because I love showing off new stuff. Now, back in the spring, I had mentioned that I got my hands on some Munch Baits products. In particular, I tried the pink fruit pop-ups and pink fruit boilies. I know this stuff makes LP happy because he loves it. I'm always willing to try new baits as they come out. I want to see how they work, see what I like over some versus the other. It's just how I am. I have my go-tos, but I always want to try new things and just see, is this better or does this perform the same way? And I wanted to get my hands on some pink ones this spring. Got the pink fruit from Munch Baits, and I caught a lot of fish on those this season. Comparatively, did I catch more on them than I did my usual go-tos, like my mainline pop-ups or my monster carp baits or my ESP pop-up corns? I can't say, because I did catch a fair few fish this season. But it was the it was the pink fruit that really stood out, because that was the new bait that I tried this year. And holy crap, they caught me some, not just several fish, but they caught me some good quality fish. And now that I'm mentioning this, I just realized I forgot a box of something. It's over there. I'll have to run over and get it in a few minutes. But it's another set of baits that I'm excited to try for next season. So I got to remember to go over there and get it. So since the pink fruit did really well for me this season, I wanted to try a few others. Obviously, yellow being probably the most popular bait anybody here in Canada uses. I I wanted to try and get a lot of it because I go through a lot of yellow baits. But these I particularly got specifically for the upper river. Just because I found that using some slightly higher vis baits got me into a few really big fish this season. And knowing the track record that I had with the pink fruit in the spring, one of my spring spots, I'm going to try this as well. So there's a small creek that I'm going to use this. If you go back and watch the video of carp fishing in the marsh that I did this spring, I'm going to be taking some of these baits there in the spring, probably March, April. And then I'm also going to be using these a little bit in summertime on the big river to see what they do. So the first one I got was a kilo of 14 mil boilies in the citrus blend. I'm not going to open these as much as I want to smell how they are, but I've heard a lot of good things about the citrus blend in particular. I know a lot of guys that use Munch baits, and you know, they rave about them. However, some of them I've not had any luck on whatsoever. You know, and like I said, the pink fruit did really well. So I'm a little bit skeptical on what's going to work, what's not. But I've heard a lot of good things about this one in particular, the citrus blend. So I picked up a kilo to try it out. I'll be using that as, you know, crushing it up in stick mix a little bit, even though they do make a stick mix. That's going to be kind of like my bottom bait choice for next year. Then next, this one's brand new. This one's kind of specifically made for, I don't know if it's specifically made for carp anglers in North America or more Canada, but I would probably guess North America. And this is the Munch Baits Pineapple Seed Range. So they have the boilies, they have the stick mix, they have the syrup, and then the pineapple seed pop-ups. I've already been into these. I've used the pineapple seed pop-ups. These don't smell overpoweringly like pineapple, like most pineapple baits do. There's something else there, and I can't put my finger on it. But it's worth a shot to try these. So I grabbed these up from Carp Kit when I got the citrus blend there. I tried the pop-ups a little bit, but it was during a session right at the very end of October. Tough conditions already. I did blank that particular session, but you know, I'm given the conditions, I'm not going to put that towards the any fault of the baits. So buying the pineapple seed range, you know, kind of, I have all the bases covered. I got the bottom baits, I got the stick mix to use for my PVA, the syrup to kind of glug it in, and then the hook bait. So again, I'll be trying these a little bit in my creek spot at the marsh in the spring, kind of March, April. And then again on the big river as we get into kind of like August, September. But I'm, you know, when you find a company that makes a bait that does well for you, it's worth trying out the other bits. You know, obviously, like I said, I have my go-tos, my main lines, my monster carp tackle baits like that. But I love experimenting and trying things. And sometimes mixing baits, you get a result that you weren't expecting at all. And I do that a lot. I mix a lot of baits together. 334 Outdoors. You had a gator take out all your rigs last year? Okay, that's frightening. You're happy that Monster BCT, oh, Big Carp Tackle. Kevin's happy that Big Carp Tackle's carrying the Monster Carp corn pellets now. Yeah, those are insanely good. I'm all out right now. I have to get more, but oh my God, are they good? Throwing them in sticks, throwing them in your spod mix, having them break down and make kind of like that globby mix, like we did in the October 12 months of carp video we did back in 2017. The corn pellets were like a big component of that spod mix, and I'm convinced that the reason we caught probably over 100 fish, 150 fish that weekend was because of that corn pellet just kind of getting in all the leaf litter and in the weeds. There's no doubt in my mind that we did as well as we did because of the corn pellets in that session in particular. That, what, 2 days, it was just nuts. Zach H, good to see ya. Carp love the pineapple down here in the States too. Caught my first 20 plus on a pineapple pop-up. Yeah, pineapples is kind of like our go-to everywhere over here in North America. You know, here in the Great Lakes region of Canada. It's great. I use a lot of pineapple, but every pineapple has that subtle variation. They're slightly different. Like I said, this one, it has something different to it, that it's not overpowering, and maybe that's the key. Maybe that's why it's been working so well this season. So I can't wait to try it for next season. 334 Outdoors, you've heard good things about the cream seed. I am not the one to speak to about cream seed. I did not have a good experience with that particular bait. The guys in Quebec have crushed with it. Anybody here who's used it that I know has not done well with it. I actually had a swim that was rocking, threw some cream seed in there. It shut everything down. Yeah, it was tough. And we tried it on a few other sessions. I burned through a kilo in over, I think, 3 sessions. Different spots where fish were just on fire. Anything we threw at them worked. Threw cream seed in there and it shut them down. So maybe in my area or the spots that I fish, it's just not right. But, you know, some places people have been doing well. So I can't really speak to that one. I've not had a good experience with that like I did with the pink fruit. This might sound dumb, but I use range cubes and sweet feed. How does that compare to the actual carp pellets? I'm assuming those are like deer feed that deer hunters would put out or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? Kevin, you tried pineapple jello? Yeah, pineapple jello, strawberry jello in their pack bait. You know, that's kind of a big thing over here in the States and in Canada. A lot of guys do it. I'm not a fan of the jello part. I just, not something I do. The cream seed thing was from Texas. Yeah, you know, if it works there, great. For us here, you know, my group, it just didn't work. It's cattle feed that you're talking about. Okay. I know guys that put like salt licks out, and they put pellets that you would kind of put out for deer, stuff like that. It should work. You know, it's getting nutrients, carbs, things like that out there in the water. That's what carp like. I would stick to stuff that's kind of more suited for carp, that's made for carp. But, you know, I know a lot of people that have used stuff like that and tried it and it worked. Yeah, absolutely. Faster breakdown with the corn pellets versus range cubes. Those pellets break down fast, but it's how they say kind of globby. They don't just go into a powder. I really like how they break down. All right, next item. I got to run over here and grab it. Just bear with me for a second. I'm almost there. I got them. I found them. All right. Sorry about that. So this one I'm really excited about. It's another bait range, but not like a full range like this. It's specifically some pop-ups and some booster sprays. These I have wanted to get for years, baits from this company. When I first started the channel back in 2014, what I did is the very first video on the channel, the fishing the Welland River for carp and catfish. Yeah, I filmed that in, I think, early July of 2014, and just to see how it would go, I put it up on my personal channel, my personal YouTube channel, and I think within 3 days it had like 1,100 hits. So that's what made me realize maybe I should just make this specifically a channel. And so I created the Anglerphiles channel and set it up and moved that video from my personal channel to this one. I think it was in August of 2014. So I let it run for a few weeks to see the response. while it was on my personal channel, I gained like, I don't know, a few subscribers of just random people that were following it to check out the video. One of which stood out, and that was Hinders, the tackle shop in England. And I recognized the name because I'd seen a series of videos on YouTube of anglers in the UK using their baits and catching on them. And I was kind of excited. And I was like, well, man, if they see him decided to follow because I put up one crappy video, my very first crappy video, you know, definitely I want to start a channel and actually get this going. You know, and here we are, almost 300 videos later, you know, 6 years down the road now. So it's quite exciting. But it was at that point that I was like, okay, I really want to try these. But I couldn't get them. They didn't, nobody would send them over the ocean. Nobody would put them in the mail for me. I couldn't order them right from the shop. So I didn't have a way of getting these. Until I noticed that Big Carp Tackle carried these. The guys down in Oklahoma. And I've mentioned them before. I've had really good experience ordering from them. I usually get my stuff from them in about 36 hours. So just as fast as I will get things from Canadian Carp Club shop or Carp Kit here in Canada, I get these from Oklahoma. You know, I think I pay a couple of dollars more for the shipping, but I love it when I can get stuff fast. You know, if I have a really good session on the weekend and I'm like, okay, I'm out, I need this. Big Carp Tackle's the only guys that have it because Simon sold out and Tony sold out. I know that I'm going to have these before my next session, so I'm pretty excited. So I grabbed a few of these because once I saw that they had the Hinders baits, I just was like, yeah, I'm not passing this up, and I jumped all over it. So in particular, I went a little bit nuts and grabbed a bunch of these things. So they're all pop-ups and sprays. They're all kind of, well, I guess the one is 12 mil. The rest I think are between 14 and 15 mil. This one is kind of like a pink and white two-tone pop-up. It's called XO Carp 15 millimeter pop-ups. The only way I can describe the aroma of these, I don't know if any of you remember as kids or, you know, if you tried it or not. Remember Flintstone vitamins? These smell like that. It's really cool. So I actually have a spot where white does better than some of the other colors that I use, and that white and pink mix I think will do well. So I'll be trying those in that spot in the spring. Tutti Frutti, because you can't go wrong with Tutti Frutti. These are orange, and these are strong. These have a really strong aroma. These two I don't have the spray for. I didn't bother buying any liquids as boosters for these, and I'm happy because they got a pretty strong aroma as it is. Let's see, 334 Outdoors. You always stick strawberry over your pineapple. Strawberry I can't catch on, man. I try. I can't do it. Yeah, he's talking about the range cubes and stuff like that. Pellets. Use salt bullocks and cattle pellets for the mullet. Yeah, you know, whatever works, try it. I know a lot of people that use stuff like that, deer feed and whatnot. Okay, so there's a few more of these. I don't know if this is a newer one or not. I know any of you guys who watch Carp King on YouTube, UK angler, he uses these a fair bit. The fruit salad, 15 mil pop-ups. They're a nice neon yellow. Any of you guys over here that use the Shimano pop-ups, where the TX1 pop-ups, they're that bright neon yellow. These are the same. So I grabbed some of these and the fruit salad booster spray. I actually really like the smell of these. It does actually kind of smell like a fruit salad. So it's definitely got some citrusy stuff to it. You know, maybe that one will be good to fish over the citrus blend boilies that I have there. Next, Carp King's been using these a lot, and that's why I grabbed it. Also, the flavor is something that we kind of use a lot over here, and it works. These are Beat-A-Nana. So we know banana flavor really works over here really well, actually, especially when it's mixed with pineapple or vanilla. That's why we did the vanilla pop-ups, Goldie's concoction that, man, just caught a lot of fish. So I got the booster spray of Beat Nana, and I've got the 12 mil pop-ups of Beat Nana. What I wasn't expecting, however, was that the Beat Nana pop-ups are brown. Very dull brown. Oh, they smell really neat. So I'm assuming it's like beetlin and banana mixed together that makes up this flavor. But with these being brown, small, kind of inconspicuous hook baits, I'm going to try these in my winter spot up on the big river. You know, maybe using a dull bait might not spook anything off in the wintertime. Might be worth a shot. Same with my spring spot in the marsh. You know, as long as the water's not too murky, this might be a really good thing to try. I was expecting it to be a little bit brighter than that, but apparently it's not. So I don't know. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm really confident that the flavor is going to do well here. But I think I'm going to have to be using that more in spots where the water is really clear, just to not spook them. Because most of the time, like always, we use yellows, we use bright baits. I don't have any dark pop-ups other than like pinks. So that one might be key. This one is the one I'm most excited about. Now I got the booster spray and the 15 mil pop-ups, and these are blackjack. So any of you guys that have seen me over the years using the Monster Carp Tackle Licorice Lust Corn, which sadly is no longer available. It's kind of like if nothing else is working, I'm going to put on the Licorice Lust Corn. I have about a half a tub of it left, maybe a little less, and that's it. Then it's gone. There is no more. And I've been looking for carp baits that kind of keep up with that kind of flavor combination. That anise flavor, black licorice flavor. And it reminds me of a bait spray that I used to use as a kid. Whenever I'd go up to Perry Sound and fish Georgian Bay for bass, there was a little tackle shop in Perry Sound that we would go to, and they had this blue and white spray tube, kind of like, I don't know, you guys remember that breath spray back in the 80s called Banaka? Same sort of kind of spray bottle, little aerosol spray bottle. And this stuff was fish scent, like a fish spray, but it was advertised as black licorice. I used to spray my jigs with that, and I would catch smallmouth, like big smallmouth, like you wouldn't believe. And as like a 12 and 13-year-old kid, that was my go-to. That was my goal. That's what I needed on my baits. But I could only ever get it when I went up there. And then I didn't go up there for a few years, and when I went back, that shop wasn't there. So it took years before I finally found a bait like that, and that's when it came in with the Monster Carp Corn. I used it for carp, started crushing on it, absolutely crushing on it. And this year, again, anytime I was having a really tough session where my pop-up corn wasn't working, my go-to main lines weren't working, I put on the Licorice Lust Corn, and it saved the blank for me. So now, having found these from Hinders, the blackjack, they're white. I might throw a bit of dye to them just to kind of yellow them up a little bit, like a pale washed out yellow. But as far as the flavor goes, yeah, watch out, guys. This is going to catch me a lot of fish around here. I'm going to catch a lot of fish in the Welland River, the Niagara River. They like that flavor. So I think that's going to be key for me. So yeah, that kind of covers the bait stuff that I've added for this spring. How long we've been going over an hour already? Oh my goodness. I haven't even gotten into the good stuff yet. So another thing, you guys know that I use the Corda Tackle Safe. Corda Tackle Safe for my kind of like my go-to tackle pack to keep all my carp rigs and hooks and stuff like that in. You know, for my short sessions, that has proven to be the best purchase that I've had in quite a while. However, every time I want to take out the big bag, if I'm going to be fishing directly out of the van because I'm close enough to the water, or if I'm going to be going for a full day, I don't want to just take a small compressed amount of gear. You know, if I'm taking my wagon, I'm going to take the big bag with as much as possible because I'm going to be out longer. And I don't like having to constantly move my gear from one bag to another, like I've said many times. I want to be more efficient. So my plan is to have big setup and a small setup. This is what's going to allow me to do that. This is the Corda tackle box. I looked at the Ridge Monkey one. It just seemed like there was a little bit more to it than I needed. And given my experience with the tackle safe, I felt it appropriate to go with the Corda tackle box, kind of to match that. I haven't even actually had this out yet. Let's take a look at it. I know Demir looked at this because he's a Corda fanatic, but I think he went, I'm pretty sure he went with the Ridge Monkey one because it suited the way he fishes more. More rig boards and such in that one. So, ooh, oh, I like that. So yeah, lots of compartments for hook links, tools, stuff like that. Does this move? Oh, did that come out? I think I can move those. That one, no. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That's wicked. Okay. So there's some dividers that I can move around. Or maybe I can't and I just broke it. We'll see. But there's dividers in here I can move around, so that'll be good. I can customize that a little bit. You know, just like in the tackle safe, all these little compartments for hooks, swivels, hook beads, things like that. Looks like it's held together with magnets as well, just like the tackle safe. I like that. I like that a lot. I have a rig board, a separate rig board I keep with me. I rarely ever use it because I rarely ever pre-tie my rigs. Most of the time I tie the rigs as I'm going to use them, and then they just get thrown in the bottom of the bag and I recover the parts from them later. This one has a small rig board on it. Not one that you would, not one with any kind of foam or anything. Just a part to clip on, a little bit of a ruler. And then I didn't even know about this, a magnet. So rather than having pins, a little magnet to put over the hook link material. I like that a lot, actually. That definitely suits the way I do things. You know, I can have 2 or 3 rigs on the go, and instead of throwing them in the bottom of the tackle box, I can actually just put them on there, and away we go. So, yeah, this looks like, to me, it's going to be right up there with the tackle safe. I'm actually really excited now, having taken this out and seen it, because I've had this for like 2 weeks and I haven't even looked at it yet. Spots to put my stripper tool, anti-tangle sleeves, stuff like that. Oh yeah, this is going to be good. Then it's got the labels. I never actually use the labels. I really should have because it would keep me more organized. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about this now. Probably more so than I was 10 minutes ago. So yeah, got this now. So now I can set up my big bag, my big setup for like full days or multi-day sessions. And then I can have my tackle safe set up for those short 3-hour sessions, because let's face it, that's what I do the most of. Short in and out sessions. You know, in the summertime when it gets light out early, you know, light out at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, I'm right out there on a Saturday morning because I have to be home by 10:30. So, you know, having a tackle safe and a smaller setup that I can put in a rucksack is going to make all the difference in the world. But when I'm going to have those longer sessions, or if I'm going to be doing some traveling, you know, maybe we're doing the Canada Carp Cup, this will be my setup. And now, because I'll have the 2 setups and they'll be fully stocked with everything that I need, I don't have to move things from one bag to another. I'll have one bag set up at all times, another bag set up at all times, and I just grab the bag that I need. It's going to be a lot more efficient in the end, and that's really what I need. Okay, I have 2 other items to show you. Sorry that I'm just dragging this out a long time. You know, normally we don't go this long, but I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having fun. Now, I don't... Whoops, it fell out of the bottom. I don't know if you guys are still chatting. My computer is set up to a big monitor to play this, so it may be frozen. I might have to check something. Maybe I have to refresh it because I can't see the chat if you guys are still going. Bear with me for just a second here. I'm going to check it. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. All right. Yeah, it looks like it just needed to be refreshed because it looks like you guys were doing a little bit of chatting. So I didn't see a couple of them. Had to go to 7 p.m. to lunch sessions that 3 a.m. wake up is for the birds. I don't sleep much. I'm always up anyways. Clint, this is good stuff, buddy. Thank you. Trying to have fun doing this. This is more for my benefit than everybody else's, but I'm glad you guys are here. Dave Newman, raining, all good. Zach H. It's the Carping Christmas stream. Take as long as you want. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, the item that I'm about to show you next actually fell out of the bottom. So here's the box, and then I'll get down there and I'll pick this up. This is the Corda Compact 45-liter rucksack. A few things about this. Until it just fell out of the box, I've not, just like the tackle box, I haven't taken it out of the box, and it's been here for about 2 weeks. The tackle box and the rucksack, I actually ordered from Harris Sports Mail. I've mentioned those guys before as well. I was going to get these from Carp Kit, but I waited too long. He had them, and I was on the fence again, like I get when I'm going to make a bigger purchase. I just hadn't decided on what I was going to do, and my wife said, you know what, for your birthday present, just do what you normally do. Order from Carp Kit, and I'll give you the money for it, which is great. The problem was I didn't feel I needed anything other than maybe some baits and stuff like that, and I had already ordered them. So that's what really made me kind of think back to, I need a fixed setup for big sessions and a fixed setup for short sessions. Really have to kind of get my efficiency and organization in line. Because I always talk about it. And then as Clint can attest to, my gear is always a disaster. I'm never as organized as I say I need to be. Now I can actually do that. Now I have the gear to do that. And this next piece is obviously a big part of that. So one of the things about this Corda rucksack, I've been looking at rucksacks for about a year. I kind of narrowed it down to this one or the Thinking Anglers rucksack. Not really sure which one I wanted. I did want the Daiwa Infinity one. Simon had one left at Carp Kit, and Kevin bought it in the spring. And it turns out that that is definitely one that I would have used. Kevin's been using it all season, and it's a great bag, and I really should have went with that one. But I didn't, and I missed out. Story of my life. So I had been looking at the Thinking Anglers rucksack for quite a while, but for some reason, a lot of the rucksacks that I've been looking at, I don't like the way they sit really high on the person's back. I like a rucksack that's going to actually take up my whole back. And me being a bigger guy, sometimes that's tough. So when I'm watching these videos of them promoting their new products, you know, all the different companies, whether it be the Gardner ones, Witchwood has some new ones out. And then I was looking at the Thinking Anglers one. The Nash ones, they all seem to ride really high on a person's back, kind of like from here up. And I have back issues. I like it to be a little bit more full and have its weight down a little bit lower, because it makes me stand up straight rather than slouch. The higher it is, the more I'm going to slouch and kind of carry it over me, rather than kind of carry it, keeping my center of gravity where I need it. I finally went with the Corda one because I actually looked at some photos in their promotional material of Tom Dove and Daryl Peck actually using this rucksack and wearing it. And I know those guys are around my height. I'm over 6 feet tall, so those guys are, I believe, are around my height. And this looked to fit them the way I wanted it to fit me. So, like I said, I was going to get it from Carp Kit. He sold out, or at least it was sold out on the website. There was no sign of it there. So I went to Harris Sports Bale that had it. It just so happened that they had it on sale, both this and the tackle box, so I grabbed them up. And like, there's some wicked strapping here. You know, it is still relatively small compared to what I would normally go for, but this has really good padding on the arms and right here for the back support. The middle strap there. Let's see. You know, obviously I got to make some adjusting because I'm big. So I can kind of set this to lower it down a bit. This strap I like to have kind of right about there, because then I can attach an action camera right up here rather than having on a chest mount right like that, kind of over my pot belly. You know, I don't need to have a camera resting on my gut. I like to have it up a little bit higher on the strap so that it's not in the way of my hands when I'm fishing, you know, if I'm lure fishing or something. But if we look at the side view, this doesn't even have anything in it. It's not fully extended, but it's not way up high like I've seen it on other guys. It's actually sitting down a little bit low, and I can lower it a little bit more, obviously, if I make the adjustments I need to. But like, I have a lot of free arm movement. It's really comfortable. So once I put some gear in there, it's probably going to be even better. But there's a whole series of pockets on here, and these are designed to fit their compact little cases, which I have one of. But also this big front pocket here apparently is designed to fit the tackle box, which actually fits that perfectly, and there's a little bit of room in there if you had to slip a few other things in with it. So technically speaking, I could also make this case, you know, part of my portable setup, and keep the setup that I have as part of my main big setup, because this is the style of fishing I do more, running gun, short sessions. Maybe this is more practical. I'll have to test it out and figure it out, but I'm really excited. Let's see, there's a little pocket on the top for some stuff in there. This was another big selling feature for me, these straps on the top where I can roll up and put an unhooking mat in there. That's a big deal, because a lot of them don't have the straps on the top. I would have preferred it to be on the bottom, but a lot of rucksacks nowadays don't do that because you're constantly setting it on the ground, so they make a bottom to be more weatherproof. So if I'm out catching a whole bunch of fish, I'm going to have a slimy carp mat kind of rubbing on the back of my neck, but oh well, it's a small price to pay. Let's see. Okay, so there's a little pocket to the top there. Then obviously there's the big main pocket that you can fit a ton of gear in. Looks like there's a little mesh pocket just inside the top here. Well, it's not mesh, it's actually plastic, and it's got mesh over the plastic so you can see through it. It's got pockets on the sides. That'd be good for like a little lead pouch. You know what? My small tracker lead pouch will fit in there just fine. That pocket there is actually really big. My big lead bag would probably fit in that. And it looks like the two on the other side are corresponding sizes. So, like, I think I'm going to be able to fit everything I need to in here. The only thing that this doesn't have that I wanted, two nice handles right there as well, which is why I was looking at the Thinking Anglers Rucksack for a while. They have the elastic bands on the edge. You can put bank sticks in, so if I needed to just set this down, have a bank stick with an alarm on it, set a rod over it, I can. With the other styles, this one I can't, but I have my little Signet tripod anyways, so it will work out in the end just fine. Yeah, it looks like there's like an incredible amount of adjustability on the straps here. So yeah, I think this is going to work out just right for me. This will be exciting. Another thing, when you look at all the ads online, and even the packaging, these things look really, really light brown. It's not. It is brownish in color. I will give you that. And you guys are probably looking at it and see that it is relatively brown. It is a brown color with the straps being green. So if you compare that to like I have a little Tracker Bits bag here. If you compare that, the green is quite different. So the straps are the same as this, but this bag is more of a brown color. I will say, when you look at the ads and the stuff that's out there to kind of show this off, it's not that light brown. This is actually a really dark, deep brown. The lights are actually making this quite a bit brighter, but if maybe the color is an issue for you, if you were looking to get this and you weren't getting it because it was such a pale brown color in the ads, I can say that it's not that bright. It's actually quite a dull, dark brown, kind of like an olivey brown, but it's nice. I do actually like it. It doesn't bother me at all. As much as I like my green gear, or like I have black bags as well. The functionality of this is going to outweigh the look of it anyways, but the color is nice. It's not so brown that it looks like it's something I would wear, take out in public for like a walk to keep my laptop in. This actually looks like I can use it for fishing gear. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that as well. Most likely when I'm supposed to be putting all my trout gear together tomorrow for the session on Monday. More than likely I'm going to be playing with that thing, setting it up instead. I have one more item. Yes, I have one more item I'm going to get to in a moment. Just get caught up on the comments here. Clint, yes, you need this stuff. Me as well. Respect the post you tagged me in. Yeah, it was a contest for some like tackle bags or tackle storage or something like that. I think it was actually Corda material. Yeah, you're just as disorganized as I am. That's why I did the post. I meant what I said. You know that. I've never shied away from saying that about, you are an amazing net man and you are a good angler that, all of your peers respect. I don't know anybody who says anything bad about the way you fish. You'd be probably surprised to find out some of the people who talk so well about the way you fish. You probably wouldn't expect to have heard it from them, but they do. And yeah, the post was a contest, right? If it gives us a chance to win some more gear that's going to help us keep ourselves organized, absolutely, I'm going to tag you in that. But yeah, like I said, you can attest to how disorganized I can get quite a bit at a time. Especially if we're having good sessions, if our spots are producing fish, stuff goes flying everywhere. I'm not organized. I need these items. I'm not like Demir, where Demir is on point with everything goes back where it's supposed to be. He takes his time and puts everything, as it should be. Pre-ties everything. I can't do that. It works well for him. It doesn't work well for me. I'm too much of an on-the-fly angler. So when he makes a mess, oh man, that's awesome to see. It's absolutely awesome to see. When I'm organized, he looks at me thinking there's something wrong. So I need to find a better balance than I've had. So if you guys saw the cover photo, if I even did that right when I was setting this up, you know, with everything going early, there's a particular item that I'm really excited about that was kind of in the grouping of stuff. I'm not allowed to open this yet. It should technically be wrapped because it's actually my Christmas present. But, you know, it's one of those things where I had to be able to show this off in this video. So it's been saved from the wrapping paper until today. And then after today, I have to wait 2 weeks before I can get it out and play with it. I'm sure all of you guys know what this is. The Deeper Pro Plus Castable Sonar. I think there may be 1 or 2 videos where we actually had this out. Not this one. Demir has this one. He bought it, I think, last winter. And he uses it quite a bit. That's how we got a look at it. I think, actually, Demir and I, a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago, we saw somebody walking around with like a little 6-foot bass rod, casting one of these around. And we actually got to see it in action. And I think that was the final selling point for Demir to get it. You okay? Oh, the dog just let out a really big snore. I don't know if you guys heard that. But yeah, once he got it and he showed us how this works, we used this in a few different places to see, you know, weeds, depth, suspended fish, stuff like that. It was incredible. Just as I was amazed when Dave Newman had his ice fishing gear out and was showing me pike coming in on his bait with the Panoptics. There's just something about the new wave of electronics that are out there to kind of help us out. This is not the sort of thing I'm going to be using to find fish specifically. I have a lot of spots that I go where I fish deep water, 30, 35 feet. With really steep slopes of rock, but we don't always know where the weed ends. This is the sort of thing that's going to help me with that. A lot of the spots that I know the depths, they're either based on the fact that I used a marker float in there, or just looking it up through history, other people having sonars with boats in there, and I've just made mental notes over the years. But a lot of my spots change from year to year. Like the little reservoir that I fished. I did, I think, 2 videos there a couple years ago, 2 years ago. That's really shallow and really silty. But in the wintertime, they drain it out completely. It's part of the canal system. So when I go to some of those spots in the wintertime, I can see all the bottom contours. I don't quite know the depths. But when that water rushes back in the spring, some of that mud might get taken away. So some of those spots might not be as shallow as I was expecting them. So yeah, exactly, Zach. Finding the contours of where some of these drop-offs are. You know, if I'm fishing in Lake Ontario, you have different contour lines where it's 7 feet out for 100, 120 yards. Then it drops down 2 feet. It's 9 feet out, tapering out to 11 for another 80 yards. And then another contour line where it drops out. There's a lot of spots like that. I don't know how well this is going to work in current, but I have several swims on the Upper Niagara that I really want to see what the bottom's like with these. The fact that it's going to show us fish is a bonus. Now, it's not like us going to, you know, Farlow's or Brasenose 1 or some fancy lake over in the UK where they know that it's carp that they're going to see, and maybe, you know, some small nooses fish. We have so many wild populations and so many species of fish in our waterways. I could be dragging this over a spot, you know, looking for carp, and I could have a school of bass or a few pike or a big muskie sitting on the bottom. I might interpret that as a carp. So using these as fish finding tools is not going to be practical for us over here in Canada, but using this to actually find the depths, the contours, the structure, that's where this is going to become super invaluable. Tips on using marker floats in rivers. My tip for using marker floats in rivers, don't do it. If you've got flow, you're wasting your time, okay? Because obviously that float is going to drift with the flow and not give you an accurate reading of what the depth is. So tip on marker float in the rivers, don't do it. If it's a static river where the water doesn't move, or like some of the rivers we have here where the current actually changes, some of the smaller rivers because they have some sort of connection to the hydro canals and stuff like that, where you'll have current that goes left to right for 2-3 hours. Then it changes right to left for a few hours. But that transition point between where it goes either way, that transition point might last about 20-25 minutes, where you actually have almost no current at all. Then it just behaves like a lake, like a static water area. Then you can use a marker float all you want, but you need to time that right. As soon as that flow starts to move again, you're going to get an inaccurate reading. The other problem with using a marker float in rivers is that the current on top might be slow, the current on the bottom might be fast, or vice versa. It might be really slow on the bottom, might be really swift on top. So again, you're going to have your line going in different ways. You're not going to get an accurate reading. So I have a marker float. I use it a fair bit. I actually used it quite a bit this year in a few spots, like the reservoir spot I fished early in the spring. But yeah, save it for your static water areas, your ponds, your lakes, things like that. No point in putting them out in the river. This would be something that I'm going to try because this might give me better readings in the current than obviously a marker float would, because this is just on the surface. Rivers, you let it float down in different distances to map it out. Hey, if you found out a way to help kind of map out certain parts, that's great. But I honestly don't think you'll ever get a proper reading if you've got flow. I just don't think it'll work. But if you've come up with something, you know, that works for you, it gives you a relatively accurate reading, good. I've got this now, and this is something that I'm really going to be using. Clint's looking into the deeper smart sonar. Oh, you meant with the deeper. Yeah, that's exactly what my plan is. Just let it drift along some of the spots, because, you know, a lot of times I'm fishing on the inside of the faster seam of the current. So this will drift a lot slower and I could really map things out. And this has the Pro Plus has some of those features. It's got the GPS. It's got that swim mapping capability. So once I learn about the settings and figure it all out, this will be really helpful for that. But before we get into that carp season, the other reason that this is going to be great for me, I can use this ice fishing. There's a setting on here that I can actually turn this into a flasher unit. So instead of reading things the way you've seen them used on, like, they use these in Carp Wars, right? The TD series Carp Wars. The way you saw these used, completely different for ice fishing. It goes with a flasher unit where it's a dial, and you can see where the bottom contour is, where fish move. Dave Newman will be really familiar with those kind of setups, like the old Vexillar units. This has a feature to work like a flasher unit in cold temperatures for ice fishing. So this is going to be really good to help me out in not only mapping out the depths of the bottom in spots like where we fish that, you know, when I find that 12 to 14 foot depth range, that's where we were getting all those pike a couple years ago. This is going to help me pinpoint those spots and map it out. Yeah, Clint, if you're going to try the deeper smart, that's the what, 2 down from this one. So there's the deeper Pro, and then there's the deeper Pro Plus. But then the deeper smart is the one kind of before both of those, and then there's the chirp that comes after this one. So there's that whole range of them. The deeper smart might be all you need. Excuse me, because, you know, you don't fish multi-species as much as I do. And you fish a lot of the smaller waters than I do. So that might be ideal. But the nice thing is I'm going to have a lot of my spots mapped out because of this. You'll have yours to map out some of the other spots. We combine our knowledge. You and I catch a lot of fish together anyways. Now we're just going to crush everybody. Three, 4 darts. You ran your boat over your spot and the side image and found out that the fish were dragging me into a sunken houseboat. That's some good structure to be fishing over. Yeah, you know, boat sonars and stuff like that. The stuff that they can do nowadays, where you can, like, look out to the side and see, you know, you can see a lure hanging from a sunken twig down to the bottom. It's just insane. I don't need anything that's sophisticated. This I can take out in my little pedal boat or in a a small aluminum if I need to. I can cast it from shore. I can use it for ice fishing. This is going to cover all the bases for me. So I'm really excited. I will have this out while I'm trying these K rips and the T rips from Kenders. You know, I need to be more mobile on the ice. This is going to help, for sure. I'm hoping to get a new ice hut soon because I finally retired my old ice hut. I'm sick of just sitting in one spot. It's too much work to set it up, and then, oh my God, 2 hours later, the fish are gone. I end up spending the whole day sitting on either little fish or nothing because it's just too tiring to take everything down, move, set it all back up. So I'm going to be looking to upgrading my ice hut system to be far more mobile. I'll have this unit. I'll have more search lures. I've even got a couple of ice rods that I upgraded last year that I'm really stoked about. So overall, for the 2021 season, the plan is to just be incredibly mobile. When I stop to do those longer sessions, I'm going to be prepared. But because I just do so many short sessions where it's like duck in and out, I need to have products with me that are going to help me find the fish fast and get that quick bite. So I think I've got that covered. So with the exception of maybe a monster carp order, because I'm starting to run low on hooks and things like that I use, because I can't go out without my monster carp hooks. I need them. Even if I tried some ESP hooks or something like that, if I don't have the monster carp hooks, I'm not fishing effectively, plain and simple. So I have to put a monster carp order in soon. I'll probably wait till about February for that. We'll go over that together in maybe the February live stream and kind of kick things off for spring. But for now, we've been going almost 2 hours here. For now, what I'll do is, I've kind of covered all of these. I have two other things that I wanted to bring up before we cut this short, because I'm having fun. You guys are still here. So, did any of you watch the most recent video we put out? Anglophiles versus improved carp angling. Me versus Nathan for the morning, and then the two of us with our children against each other in the afternoon. Just jump in the chat there and let me know if you guys saw that video. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of it. It was one that I was really, really happy with how that came about. Yeah, that one was it was exciting. We had planned it for a while and then didn't get to kind of go with what our actual plan was. So we had to modify it. And I think it worked out for the better, to be honest with you. I think the way it went, where we split the day up and had the kids out in the afternoon, went way better than it did, than we would have planned it to be. Hoping the chat's not frozen again. I don't want to go all the way over there to fix that. But did any of you guys see that video yet? Missed it in the sub feed, been wondering where you'd been. Oh, it's definitely there. Would have put that up 2 weeks ago now. It was a session at the end of October. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check it out. The cover photo is my son holding a big fish because, he just doesn't catch small ones anymore. It just doesn't happen. But I'm really proud with how that video went. You guys can see how I struggled in the morning, see how things went for Nathan in the morning, and then to see us with our kids out to see kind of how everything just flipped on its head. It was just a great session. It was one that I was really proud of, and I'm really happy with how that video turned out, especially seeing Zane catch a fish again. It's just one of those things that I light up and get so proud every time he hooks a fish, and you see how more and more he's paying attention to how to hold the fish, and he's excited to actually get in there and pick it up. And yeah, Clint saw it. Yeah, you liked it. Glad to hear that. But 334 Outdoors, when you watch that in particular, we got lucky enough to catch the run on camera. When you see that, you're going to jump out of your chair. Just sick run for that fish. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you watch it. If you have seen it, if you wouldn't mind, if I could trouble you to just share that video, not just because it's one that I'm proud of, but there's a lot of people that don't take their kids out enough, especially nowadays with all that's going on in the world. You know, you've got tons and tons of people out there going out fishing, trying fishing for the first time, new anglers, things like that. We really need to get kids out fishing. It's super important to get them out in nature, get them in the outdoors. You know, my son, when I get him out there, he loves it. But prying him away from his tablet and YouTube and the technology that's out there, as much as the technology is great that's out there nowadays, we have to have it in moderation. Kids need more time to connect with nature. There's kids out there that have never spent any time outside in the woods or near a waterway to watch the birds and things like that. Please share that video, get it out there. I want other anglers, especially new anglers, to see the value of taking our kids out. We can't hold back on that, right? You know, here's Nathan and I, both two pretty serious anglers. You know, we both do YouTube channels and we put a lot of focus into our own fishing, but we just can't rule out that we need to get our kids out there. We need them to experience this with us. It's important. So please, that's the reason I would ask that you share that video. If nothing else comes of it, I don't care if we get new subscribers or anything like that. It doesn't matter to me. I want people to see the message there, that it's important to get our kids out. So if you guys could share that video, please, that would be great, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you have seen it and you enjoyed it, make sure you click that like. Last topic I had on my notebook. We talked about this in January, I believe, the January live stream, and that's the goals for the coming year. Lee, you've seen all of them. Great, excellent, thank you. My goals for this year, I had a few. I achieved, I think, one. Obviously, this year was not practical to do a lot of the things that we wanted to do, but luckily, you know, I was able to get out as much as I could. Short sessions a lot of time, but I was still able to get out regularly until, I guess, November. I've been out. Yeah, I've been out twice, for probably a total of about 8 hours in the last 6 or 7 weeks. So, you know, I'm going through some serious withdrawals, hence all the buying, right? But out of all the goals that I had set in the spring, one of the main ones was to get a carp on the fly rod. I was able to achieve that. If you haven't seen that video, please go back and watch that one later on. I'm proud of that one too. It doesn't show things the way I really had hoped they would. I forgot camera equipment, so the microphone's constantly dangling in front of the in the top of the screen. It was hot. I had a lot of people around in the park lake. I kept forgetting to move the camera back enough so you could actually see what I was doing. But I had fish everywhere. There was fish everywhere in these spots. And I had put so much pressure on them that they were not interested. But in the end, to be able to get the fish, I was so wired that I got the fish, I completely forgot to take a picture of it. It was a crazy, crazy session. Again, a short morning session. I didn't even drive to the park lake. I just walked up there. And it was just one of those ones that the fulfillment that I got out of that, the achievement of being able to know that I wanted to get a carp on the fly rod again, work my butt off, struggling, not making it happen, then to finally get that one, and for it to be the size it was, super excited. Really at that moment didn't care about any of the other goals that I had kind of set for the year, as far as, you know, fish I wanted to target or places I wanted to go. That just kind of ticked all the boxes for me, getting that fish in the fly rod. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check that one out as well. That one was set back, I think about a month ago. I think I put that up a month and a half ago. But for going into the 2021 season, I never really sat down to think about my targets for next year. I had some plans this year to do a few other collaborations with some other YouTubers here in Ontario. Scheduling wise, it just didn't make it happen. I'm going to be pushing a little bit harder next year to make those collaborations happen. One of which I'm really excited about the concept. I specifically messaged that one angler and told him that, you know, I want to do that concept. I wanted to do it with his blessing. He said it was great. And, you know, it just makes sense that we do it as a collaboration in some way, that we both try it kind of head to head, or what have you. But we'll work out the details again. But I will get in contact with him again to make sure that we do that for next year. Spoken to a few others about different collaborations we can try. I just have to do it in a way that, you know, I'm not going to be traveling as much. My schedule might be limited again. But other than collaborations, you know, the only really one thing that I can think about is that that unicorn that Goldie found, that giant koi that he found in that one spot. You know, Goldie hasn't fished, I think, since March. February or March. He hasn't been out. He's been working his butt off. You know, getting life taken care of. Hopefully we'll see him again in the spring to get back on the water, maybe even on the ice if I can trick him to get out. We'll see. But the guy's working so much I barely hear from him anymore. So, you know, maybe if he can get his gets a day off that he can get out on the bank, we'll drag him out there and you guys can see him again. But that one fish that he found was part of an objective that I knew he wanted to go after. As did I. A freaking big koi. But it's a big piece of water as well. And to know some of the fish that have come out of that that water this year was kind of exciting. A mirror that I caught back in 2018 has been caught by, I think, 3 other times by some friends, the guys at Fat Boys Fishing. They have had that same fish 3 times this year. You know, all within about 80 yards of where I caught it 2 years ago. So that's insane. We're finding out that there's more and more mirror carp in there. More than we thought. You know, the biggest one is still the one that Goldie caught a few years ago in the one video we did. Kind of old tactics in a new spot. And he got that 14-pounder. Gorgeous, gorgeous mirror. That's the biggest one we know of in there so far. But apparently we're finding out there's more and more that we didn't know about. They've just been coming out at odd times. But this massive koi that's in there, nobody fishes the area where Goldie spotted that fish. We don't know of anybody who's caught it. We haven't even heard of anybody else that's seen it. So it really is a unicorn. And I'm thinking I would like to go after that a bit more next year. No, I do have some other plans next year. Something I'm working on with Dave. I believe at the request of 334 Outdoors, we mentioned, I think, in the last live stream, working on a proper film about how to fish for carp in rivers. I've been writing things down, making notes. Dave and I have had some conversations. Something we're going to work on all through next year and have ready for 2022. So we are still working on that. That is going to go ahead. You just won't see much of it next year. But yeah, that's a goal, is to get that done. A goal is I'd like to chase that unicorn, that big koi. And then beyond that, I really haven't set any other goals. One thing I would like to do, it's not really a goal because I can't make it happen, but I would like to get another Upper Niagara 30. There's a video that's going to come in February where I got my first Upper Niagara 30. And man, what a session that was. So yeah, in February, I think end of January, beginning of February, that video is going to go live. And that session was just killer. And yeah, I would like to do that again from a different spot, different swim. I'd like to get another 30. I've had so many high 20s in the upper, it's insane. But to get an upper 30, I think is not an upper 30, but another 30 in the upper river would be really great. So not really a goal, but kind of like a mild target. I'm thinking the chat's frozen because I'm not seeing it move at all. So if you guys have posted any targets that you guys have for next year, I'm sorry I'm not seeing it. I'm just not going to keep running back and forth with the to the computer to change that. I'm actually probably going to sign off in a minute or two because it sounds like my son's getting antsy and we've been going for 2 hours now. This is by far the longest live stream I've ever done, and I don't care. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I always love being able to chat with you guys. So like I said, that's why on Boxing Day, when we release the first center pin carp fishing video, I will do that as a premiere. And I will make sure that I am there to chat with you guys for that. Yeah, it looks like everything's freezing up on me on the computer side of things. So sorry about that, guys. I'm going to cut this short now. Cut it short. I'm going to bring it to a close. Thank you for tuning in for the December live stream. Really appreciate it. Oh, of course, now a comment comes through. 334 Outdoors, your targets are to actually make some videos next year. Everything must have just refreshed on me. Do it. Just get out and do it. You guys are being quiet. Stop making me talk so much. I'm not going to have a voice for the rest of the afternoon. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely get out there, make some more videos. Clint, make more videos. We're all dying to see the pack bait ballers get back in the swing of things. That's my job. I'm doing it anyways. Whether I have viewers or not, I'm going to be making videos. So if you guys are going to start doing them, then I have something to watch. Come on. Zach's going to work on some new rigs and using PVA mesh instead of method feeders. Yes, absolutely try that. And the new rigs thing will go very well with either the method feeders or the PVA mesh. So you're going to find that you're going to be able to play with both of those at the same time. Yeah, PVA mesh, there's just times where that is so much better than a method feeder. Time and time again, Kevin and I have found that, especially fishing in current. There's some places where the method feeder will hold, other places it won't. Getting the mesh in there will make the difference. You also 3-3 Outdoors, you want to catch a 30-pound common. Do it. If you know where they are, an area where people have got them, focus your efforts there. Go for it. Make sure you get it on camera because I want to see it. Not just pictures. I want to see the video. Put it together. But yeah, again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for staying as long as you did. I can see that the numbers have gone down with who's been watching throughout the stream, but to actually have you guys stick around for the whole 2 hours, I really, really appreciate that. Got to keep the grassies away from your rigs. Yeah, I'd love to catch a grassy. Never caught one. They're not looked at very well up here, so if any of them do come out, we're actually not supposed to put them back. It's not the way I am. So we'll have to we'll see. Maybe one day I can go somewhere where I can catch a grassy. We'll have to see. But I want to wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that. We will see you guys for the premiere on Boxing Day of the center pin video. So I'll be able to speak to you guys again there. But while I'm here, face to screen, I just want to pass on my my best wishes to all of you. Thank you again, all of you, for watching the videos, supporting the channel all year long like you have. I know many of you guys are also following the Instagram page. Really appreciate that. I love to hear how everybody's doing. So, drop me a message on Instagram. Might not be able to answer it right away. I can't always sit there and have long chats because, I am a busy guy. I got a family, got a job, stuff like that I got to take care of. But, I do love to hear how everybody's doing. Shoot me some photos of your catches. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I'll post them up on the page as well. So, yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for supporting the channel. And, we will see you again in this format in the January live stream in the new year. Hopefully I'll have planned out my goals for next year a little bit better. and we'll have some new things to talk about, new things to discuss. Do I prefer Facebook Messenger or Instagram? Instagram, I'm going to see it faster. Messenger, I don't spend too much time on, other than like my close-knit group. If you guys go on the Facebook page for the Angler Files, you'll see it doesn't really get updated a whole lot. It's just people aren't there. The traffic isn't there. Traffic is on Instagram. So I prefer, if you're going to shoot me a message, let me know how you're doing. If you got a really good catch or you want to try a new rig or something like that, and you'd like my input, shoot me a message on Instagram. That'll be the best place to get a response. Like I said, maybe not right away, but I try to respond to everything on there. Yeah, we will see you guys in January. We'll chat with you on Boxing Day for the premiere. And yeah, for now, just because we only got to touch on it a bit, for the January live stream, since we'll be starting a new year, we're all going to have new plans. I'd like you guys, if you wouldn't mind, think about your angling goals for 2021, things you'd like to try, things you want to do. Let's open that up as a big discussion for the next one, and we'll kind of see if maybe some of you guys have things that I want to try. Maybe I have some things that you want to try. Let's see how it goes. So for now, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go spend the afternoon with the kid. Thanks for tuning in. And of course, I have to run all the way over here to stop